After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under Esfrosti rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
There you are, Your Majesty.
Ah, Huet.
Pray, do not sound so dismal. Now that we have retaken Whiteholm Castle, you are Glenbrook's rightful king. We've an entire kingdom to rebuild out of the ruins of war. Patriot and the others have been demanding utmost haste.
I understand that, I do. But... oh, Cordelia. If I should lose you too, I
know you have suffered many hardships, but pray, do not let yourself succumb to despair. Me, our comrades, your people, all of us are eagerly awaiting the era of peace our new king will bring.
King, eh? My father never once let his emotions overcome him. Not even the day my mother died. I had every intention of following his stoic example, but...
Majesty, I bring word from the infirmary.
Is it Cordelia? Pray tell me she's all right.
She is indeed recovering apace, Your Majesty.
Oh, thank the stars.
It seems she has something to discuss with you all, if you will hear her out.
Of course. Tell her we'll speak in the garden, but only if it will not tax her overmuch.
Yes, sire.
Huet, fetch Serenoa and the rest. Tell them to come to the garden as soon as they are able.
'Twould be my pleasure.
What is it? You're smiling.
It's only... I thought it would be some time yet before I saw you look so at ease. I'll return shortly with the others.
Cordelia, you returned to me after so long. But slow and steady is the path to recovery. Yes, there is no rush. So that is what happened in my absence.
Yes. Gustadolf was a clever ruler. After the invasion, Patriot and his royalists cozied up to Esfrost in order to protect themselves. Gustadolf used them to his every advantage. He stripped them of their privileges and left them nothing but their governing responsibilities. I don't think Patriot much cared for that, but it did ensure everything continued smoothly, without interrupting the people's lives.
Now I understand why there was little unrest after the occupation began.
A clean, effective takeover by a well-seasoned commander.
But all the while, he was preparing to face the next conflict.
Wait, does he intend to march on Hyzant next?
I believe so. I wish I could be more specific. But the Goddess's shield cannot protect the Holy State's capital from Esfrost. Not anymore. He said it will all be over once the Death Snell is ready.
What is this Death Snell?
A new weapon born from the coupling of his frosty ironworking and explosive projectiles. Thallus claimed it is powerful enough to break through the Goddess's shield.
To think Esfrost is capable of creating such a monstrosity.
So much for their reign of peace. Taking over Glenbrook was only the first move in a bigger gambit to seize the source.
I am disturbed to learn of Gustadolf's plan. But rebuilding our capital must take priority.
Very well. We should investigate the extent of the damage and discuss how best to proceed from there. House Wolfort will lend whatever aid you need.
Thank you, Serenoa. But since you are one of their Saintly Seven now, I'd ask you to keep an eye on Hyzant as well.
Cordelia? Apologies. A brief spell of dizziness.
I have been looking everywhere for you, Your Highness.
Patriot.
I do not recall giving you leave of the infirmary. Your injuries are still healing. Would you undo all the trouble I went through to get you the best of care? Pray, return to the infirmary at once.
It wouldn't do to push yourself, Cordelia. Rest now. Leave everything to me.
All right.
We got a pretty good understanding of the damage in the capital, my lord. It's a tad more than we were expecting.
I see. Then we must make haste with repairs. Let's report this to Hyzant and see what aid they can give us. Was there anything of note besides damage?
There ain't an easy way of putting this, but not everyone's exactly pleased to hear Prince Roland's returned. Esfrost exempted Glenbrook's subjects from the salt tax. Likely a bid to get in everyone's good graces. And a damn good one at that. But more than that, the so-called freedom Gustadolf brought to the kingdom seems to have made a splash. He threw out the old ways and made it so anyone could better their lot in life depending on their ability, instead of their birthright.
Just as in Esfrost.
Then the people must have looked quite favorably upon Gustadolf's rule.
I wager folks ain't too pleased to see us, since they figure it means things will go back to how they used to be.
Roland surmised as much. We must do something to show the people his is a return worth celebrating.
Anna, have you looked into the state of affairs in the castle?
Yes. The head of the Royalists, Minister Patriot, is extending his influence. He made quite the name for himself, even under Gustadolf. Though he seems eager enough to support King Roland, he was just as eager to serve the Archduke. I do not believe we can trust him.
Distinguished members of House Wolfort, how hard you are all working to rebuild our capital. What a delightful thing to see.
Minister, you do us a great honor visiting us out of all the many other responsibilities that must vie for your attention.
Oh, come now, do not think yourself so insignificant. The entire kingdom owes you its thanks, myself included, of course. We are so grateful for House Wolfort's aid, even though you now serve a different master.
We are only doing what any of King Roland's loyal vassals would.
Speaking of the king, I'm afraid we've a bit of a problem. His Majesty seems to be entertaining thoughts of retaliating against Esfrost. But the people have had their fill of war, and I'm sure you're already aware the people look upon the royal line with disfavor. I only beg you take every care going forward.
A warning.
Even so, there is naught we can do but focus on rebuilding.
Indeed. Let us return to the king and apprise him of our progress.
I would walk the city with Sheila a bit longer and speak with the people.
As you wish. But this is not the capital you knew. Be careful, my love.
All right, lads and lasses, lay down your arms. Let your bruises remind you of the lessons learned today.
Ah, what fortuitous timing. I still owe you for the drinks from the other evening. I wondered if I might treat you tonight.
Apologies, lass, but I've got places to be. Perhaps another time.
You seemed troubled by something. Perhaps I'm overthinking it.
Let us end our day's work here.
It is early, is it not? Is something amiss?
No, nothing at all. Just my attention is required elsewhere for a time.
Elsewhere? Curious.
How many have you had?
Not enough. Just one for you, I take it.
Yes.
Went by in a flash. Can you believe it's been 30 years?
The time has escaped us. The memory of that day, however, I doubt ever will.
Thrice damned, can't move. Always thought I'd meet my end with a beautiful lass by my side.
You have many days ahead of you yet, Eredor. We will see you returned home.
Don't try to run, you curs!
Leave me be. I'll just slow you down. It was my cursed pride that got us into this. Only I should suffer for it. We don't all need to die today. Run!
Even in the face of death, you refuse to set aside your foolish pride. I followed you into this hell of my own will, and I will see you delivered from it.
You fool!
Charge!
Come and die.
Yeah!
That would have been it for us, had Lord Simon not met their charge in time.
Aye, and the only punishment for my pride were these aches that keep me awake at night.
We hungered for glory all those years ago, without a care for how it would serve us later on.
A couple of would-be heroes who couldn't be convinced they weren't invincible.
Yet here we are, drinking, to celebrate the end of that war. I do not wish to reminisce upon the past. A toast that I may never again repeat the mistakes of my youth. But before that...
Yeah?
You have served House Wolfort well, Eredor. That said, I've a feeling we'll need your sturdy shield even more going forward.
You need me to lead a charge? I'm your man. I'll leave anything fancier than that to you. For House Wolfort!
For House Wolfort.
Roland, what are you doing out here?
There's hardly a better place to become lost in one's thoughts. Don't you agree?
I suppose. However, if aught weighs on your mind, it may serve you better to turn to a friend.
Then let me ask, do you believe me too immature for my station?
Not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact.
But the other nobles loved to gossip of my disinterest in politics and intrigue, and mocked my love of hawking.
You said it yourself. Gossip and sniping, nothing more. Pay no mind to nobles and their petty judgments. The people who matter, your subjects, hold you dearly in their hearts. Stories abound of their love for you.
Hey, go peddle your junk somewhere else.
And why would I do that, my good sir? I see no reason to forego such a bustling avenue simply to please a stranger.
A stranger? You're posted in front of my damn shop. You're stealing my customers from right under my nose.
Oh, I am? I'm not sure your lack of customers could be blamed on me. Surely the proprietor bears some responsibility for...
What bickering is this?
None of your business, whelp. Now leave us to our negotiations.
Prince Roland, is that really you?
A prince, you say? Well,
A distinguished gentleman such as yourself must be mortified to have your customers bear witness to this childish bickering.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. My temper got the best of me.
And you, merchant. If you mean to trade in Glenbrook, I trust you have procured the proper licenses and approvals.
well, the process takes some days, you see. Pardon, Your Highness.
Then your business shall have to wait some days, it seems. Shall I summon a member of the Kingsguard to explain the law in detail?
No, there'll be no need of that, Highness. I'll just be on my way.
Thank you, Prince Roland. Come visit any time, and I'll let you have your pick of my wares.
Huh. Your place has always been with your people. You could walk down the main avenue and settle disputes with a single word.
Don't tell me you were watching. They were petty arguments, nothing more.
As petty as they might have been, you were happy to do it. What better proof of royalty is there than that?
But it wasn't because I was wise that I solved their problems. It was my name and status that let my words wait. How do you imagine a kingdom with not a single dissatisfied soul would look?
That's a difficult thing to imagine.
Indeed. I suppose the best one can hope for is to do what we can, while we can.
Well, we can start envisioning such a nation. That one day we might build it, together.
I like the sound of that. No doubt the answers we seek lie ahead, so long as we stay honest with ourselves. And so long as we work together, you and I, Serenoa.
Do you have a moment, Gila?
Oh, Frederica. Is something the matter?
Well, I invited Serenoa to have dinner with me tonight.
That's wonderful. Are you cooking for him?
I am. I've been practicing with the book you gave me. I was hoping to finally show him what I've learned.
Then allow me to help. What are you making?
A warm soup full of meatballs. A hearty, meaty, savory stew to tickle the tongue and sate the stomach. Or so the book describes it.
That sounds like quite a mouthful, in more ways than one.
The author is rather verbose, yes. Anyhow, I also want to make an appetizer. Might you be able to lend a hand?
Cooking is hardly my specialty, but say no more. I'd love to.
Oh dear.
This is disappointing, to say the least.
And we're almost out of time. Serenoa will be back any minute now.
Excuse me, Lady Frederica. Lord Serenoa has just sent word that he has been held up at a meeting. He says there is a chance he may not even return tonight.
I see. Thank you for letting me know.
It sounds like your dinner may get postponed.
A blessing in disguise. It gives us time to cook this again and do it right this time.
Lord Serenoa may not even return tonight.
But there is a chance he might. And I refuse to disappoint him. Would you help me, Gila?
Of course, Frederica. I shall do my very best to see this through with you.
I cannot thank you enough.
The vegetables are done, though they are a far cry from perfect.
The meatballs are ready too. Now all we have to do is stew them.
Frederica, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
It appears we've run out of time.
I was on my way here when something urgent came to my attention. I apologize for returning so late. I know we were supposed to have dinner tonight.
I am just happy you're here. Besides, I am the one who should apologize. I wanted to cook you a meal, but failed terribly on my first attempt, so it isn't yet ready. I'm sorry, Serenoa.
Don't look so down, Frederica. I was delighted when you asked me to share a meal. Now that I'm back, why don't I help you with the food?
Serenoa.
Thank you again for inviting me. I'm overjoyed we could spend this time together.
As am I. I enjoyed cooking with you as well.
The time we spend together is very precious to me. I regret that my duties have been keeping us apart lately. But when I noticed the sky was even more beautiful than ever this night, I hurried home, hoping we could gaze upon its beauty together.
It's strange. When I was in Esfrost, I would look up at the same sky. But it felt so much colder there. The stars seemed as if frozen. They did not twinkle the way they do now that I am with you, Serenoa.
Frederica, promise me that you will always stay by my side. I need you, now more than ever.
Of course, Serenoa. I wish to gaze up at the same sky, sit beneath the same moon, and walk the same path you do. together, forever and always.
Under this tree.
This here's the land of the Jax clan. Or used to be, more like. That clasp on your chest, that's their sigil, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a memento from my parents. Or so I was told.
Aye, now that I'm looking for it, I can see the resemblance. Same silvery hair and everything. Villages near here met with a pretty terrible fate. They begged the armies to spare their fields. The only one who listened was one of House Wolfort's bannermen. No one was surprised, big war hero that he was. But by the time we got here, the Jax had been all but exterminated. He was digging graves for the dead, enemy and all. A hero and a gentleman he was. Names on the tip of my tongue.
Benedict.
Aye, that was it. Do you know the man? I'd like you to pass on my gratitude, if you do.
Thanks for showing me the way.
Your coin's all the thanks I require. If that's all you'll be needing me for, I'll leave you to it.
You make a poor stalker.
Ain't exactly what I'm built for.
You fought in the battle here, didn't you?
Benedict swore me to secrecy. But suppose it ain't break an oath if you already know. Oh, but first I ought to tell you. You've the right to the truth. And those ain't my words. They're his. That's why he never tried to stop you from finding out about your parents.
You know of their fate?
We drove the enemy up the clifftop. Cornered him there. The same instant we cut their leader down, a babe cried out in the distance. In the hideout, we found you, all swaddled up. A letter pinned to you with that same clasp on your chest.
Live strong, Anna. Stronger than any. I see now.
Your family died at our hands. If it's vengeance you want, you can take it out on me.
That doesn't sound like the Eredor I know. Do you think so little of me? To assume I would forsake my friend, bloody my hands with revenge. I know the truth at last. That is enough.
Is it, Anna? Or are you forcing it to be?
Don't be a fool. Benedict is the one who raised me. If I ever want for a father, I know where to find him. When we've won this war, I shall make sure he understands that.
Made it in time, my lord.
Eredor, you came.
Lady Destra. Your mother was loved by one and all, my lord. Honoring her this day is the least we can do. Is it just you here, my lord?
We are beset on all sides by tasks large and small. I would not impose my familial obligations on the others.
Spoken like a true leader. Me and your mother may not have been family by blood, but duty bound us, just as close.
I am sure she would have been overjoyed to see you by my side. I never had a chance to know her. My only memories are from stories others told me. And still, I somehow can feel the warmth of her embrace, hear the loving sound of her voice.
She was smitten, that is true. She held on to you so tightly, I reckon not even the Dawn Spear could have pried you from her.
Did she?
Lady Destra's smile was brighter than the sun, and near as constant. She treated young Benedict and I like little brothers, though at times we weren't so deserving of her care. Even so, she always had a kind word, and worry enough to spare. There weren't a woman like her in all of Narzelia.
I did not know the bond between you three ran so deep. Benedict never mentioned it.
His lips aren't as loose as mine, especially when it comes to Lady Destra. Speaking of which, here. Your mother would have loved to get one of these from you.
A snowbell? My father mentioned her fondness for these flowers. Every year when I visited her, without fail, one of these would be placed in front of her grave. Was that you all this time?
Well, not exactly, my lord.
They're quite rare, are they not? I often search for them, but I have yet to see one in bloom. Where did you find it?
Well, I made a journey down south. Benedict insisted. Apologies for my absence, my lord.
There is naught to apologize for. 'Twas a thoughtful gesture, and I thank you for it. Somehow, I can feel Mother smiling down upon us.
More than I deserve, if I'm being honest.
Huh. There's already a snowbell. Who could have...
Should have known. Nothing will stop him from his duty.
What was that?
It was nothing, my lord. Seems we're not the only ones carrying a torch for Lady Destra.
Indeed. We are fortunate to be part of such a close-knit house. And that is thanks to those who serve it. I trust I'll see you here again in a year's time, Eredor.
Of course, my lord. Snowbells might capture a moment in time, but your mother inspired loyalty for an eternity. At it again, eh? You know, even the Dawn Spear set down his weapon on occasion.
We are at war. I cannot hope to end it by being idle.
Spoken like a true member of the Kingsguard. You lot were always too serious for my tastes.
We were not serious enough. Where is the king we were meant to protect now? What will become of his kingdom? King Regna and Crown Prince Franny are no more. Only Roland and Cordelia remain. When I think of how lonely my charge must feel, I almost feel smothered by the guilt.
If he's lonely, he hides it well. Could be that losing his princely obligations has lifted a weight off his shoulders.
And who are you to speak on his feelings? His father ever doted on Franny. He knew precious few moments of his mother's love before she passed. Even so, he tried his utmost to never show weakness in front of his sister. He was there for her in the worst of times. There was never a place near the throne for him. Truth be told, Sir Maxwell was more of a father to him than anyone. I'd like to think I have been more than his guard. Oftentimes, I felt like his confidant.
You and Floogie are constant companions.
As I said before, my prince, he is more than my companion. He is the truest friend I could ask for.
A true friend. I must admit, I envy your relationship.
My prince, I did not mean to.
'Tis nothing to apologize for. I simply find the idea of soaring the skies with a true friend to be somewhat romantic.
You could do the same with the proper training. If it pleases you, my prince, I would gladly teach you.
You would? Then I gladly accept. I trust you will go easy on me.
I can promise no such thing. You must become as ferocious as a hawk yourself if you wish to ride one. War broke out soon after that. My promise to teach him is yet unfulfilled. So I will train, I will fight, until the skies are no longer clouded by the fires of war. Only then can I rest. Only then can we fly free. Perhaps then, with the wind in our faces, we can forget our stations, our titles, if only just for one moment.
What was that last part? You'll have to speak up.
Nothing. Nothing at all. Yes, it's back to training for me.
It's become late. We'd best keep an eye out for bandits.
You have a warrior's intuition. You needn't worry. I won't let us come to harm.
It takes no great intuition to see that this world is falling ever deeper into chaos. The reasons, however, remain elusive. Will we see our way safely through this darkness? I cannot say.
We have naught but our duty, and mine is to Prince Roland, whatever might become of House Wolffort.
I find your perspective refreshing. Although it may be direct, you walk the path you've chosen with confidence. On the other hand, I often feel that I'm fumbling. I had thought Gustadolf to be a man of reason, but now I see that he will not hesitate to employ deceit to achieve his goals. In a manner of speaking, he and I are not so different. I, too, once hoped to have the influence to change the nation. At least, I told myself so. Really, all I wanted was to be free, and Frederica was simply a means to that end. As long as I had what I wanted, I had no great concern for what became of her.
Jila,
But this war has caused me to reconsider that. I realize that Frederica herself is worth caring for. She's not the sheltered princess I took her to be.
Her wits are a match even for Benedict. She surprised me and shamed me. I was wrong to underestimate her, to define her by her birth and station. She represents my greatest failures as a teacher, but also my greatest success. For she has truly taken my lessons to heart. I see now there is no shame in serving another, and no shame in sacrificing my freedom for something greater. Oh, but perhaps I've shared overmuch. For some reason, I find it easy to talk with you.
The feeling is mutual. You are not so aloof as I thought.
I've just had a thought. When the war is behind us, I may very well open my own school. Of course, you would be welcome to join me. I would be master of the classroom, and you could be master of the training yard. We could teach our students the art of hawksmanship. Our riders would be first class. What should our school be named? You will come and teach with me, won't you?
Not half so aloof as I thought.
What's so urgent you can't let a man sleep?
Nothing less than the completion of my groundbreaking research, Eredor.
Oh. Well now, that is something.
Indeed it is. I've managed to thermodynamically stabilize the quasi-liquid film forming on the surface of the...
Yes, I've heard all that. Now tell it to me in words a man can understand.
Right. Well, in layman's terms, I have created ice that never melts.
See how simple... Did you say ice that never melts? That's mighty impressive and all, but what actual good does that do anyone?
My dear, sweet, simple Eredor. We can use my creation to forge weapons with no need for iron.
Sounds useful, if it works as you say. But how's the durability?
Silly soldier. Do you take me for a fool? Of course I tested their durability. Worry not. A prototype shall arrive shortly. I bid you try it out for yourself. For better or worse, you're the most experienced soldier I know, and so I'd have you handle it first.
That sounds big and important. I reckon I'll take you up on it.
What news? Surely it's finished by now.
Afraid not. I come bearing unfortunate news from the smithy. It seemed plenty sturdy at first, but shattered the moment he took a hammer to it. He says it has a long way to go before it can be used in place of iron, I'm afraid.
Preposterous! My calculations were impeccable. Surely I have not forsaken my homeland in pursuit of a fool's errand.
That's all a bit dramatic, isn't it? You can't have a breakthrough without breaking a couple of ice blades. You know what'd wash away all that pain? A nice cold glass of spirits. Spirits? That's it! That unmelted ice of yours could chill him forever, could it not? Groundbreaking indeed! This invention of yours could still take the world by storm.
And I reckon the army'd have use for it as well. It'd keep our rations from going off. Weapons be damned. You've done very important work.
The fact remains that my calculations were in error. So forgive me my reluctance to.
Less sulking, more drinking. You succeeded, haven't you? Right then, this'll be my treat. And I won't be turning in till you do.
Very well. Scientific breakthroughs never come easily, I suppose. Perhaps my next experiment shall be seeing how many rounds my everlasting ice can chill. Right then, to the encampment with us. 'Tis time for a drink or three.
That's the spirit. Just promise me I won't have to haul your drunken ass home this time.
Lord Serenoa, may I speak with you?
About that noblewoman, yes? Eridor's told me what happened.
Forgive me. I know that I should have waited for your orders before acting. But I could not leave that woman to her devices. The longer the war goes on, the more the people suffer. I imagine their feelings toward their rulers must be souring. In spite of this, that woman tried to use your name to wrest their food away. Had we let her go free, people would have thought she was acting on your orders, and their mistrust of you would have only grown. I believed we had to show them that soldiers stand for justice, and acted. I accept whatever punishment you deem fit.
There will be no punishment, for you have committed no wrong.
My lord.
Anna looked into her. It seems that woman's ill repute dates back to her days in Glenbrook. Likely, she thought to obfuscate her misdeeds in the Crown City by hiding within my troops. But she wasn't able to conceal her true self in the end. I suppose she thought to earn my favor with the stolen food. Unfortunately for her, she misjudged my principles.
Lord Serenoa.
Forgive me for my oversight in this matter. I shall take all necessary precautions to ensure nothing like it happens again.
So, you aren't upset with me for throwing a noblewoman in jail?
Had I been in your position, I would have done the very same. For her misdeeds in Glenbrook and the crime you caught her committing, I shall order her banished at once. She will never again be welcome in the Wolffort domain. Let it serve as a deterrent to any others who would prey upon the common people. It is rare that I meet someone so committed to holding those of high birth accountable for their actions. I hope you will continue to do so. House Wolffort must be a house the people can trust.
Of course, my lord. You have my word. I knew I made the right choice. Unlike Patriat, Lord Serenoa is a man worth serving. Yes, I finally found where I am meant to be. I cannot rest on my laurels. Yes, I must serve my new lord as best I can.
This place was host to a battle not long ago, wasn't it?
We have come here to help. Let us offer what relief we can.
I never imagined the war would spiral this out of hand. Before the fighting started, all I cared about was becoming the realm's greatest blacksmith. I dreamed of forging the perfect weapon, a testament to strength. But what is strength, truly? Of late, I have pondered much on that question.
And have you arrived at an answer?
Well...
There they are! Thanks for the sweets you gave us. Hey, let's play a game!
Very well. What shall we play? Apologies, Iens. You may return. You needn't wait for me.
Come on! Over here!
I believe I may have found my answer, Lord Serenoa. courage, kindness, warmth that kindles a smile upon a child's face, the fortitude to keep fighting, no matter what trials you may face. Through it all, your heart remains unbent and unbroken. That is what will end this war. You, my lord, and the unmatched weapons you carry within you.
Hey! You should play with us too!
If you insist, here I come!
Damn it all. At this rate, I'll never come close to carrying on Grandfather's legacy. Maybe I was never destined to be a great mage after all.
Ow! It hurts!
Oh no, the poor child's fallen.
Hey there, are you hurt?
Ow! It hurts so bad I can't even stand!
Not to worry. I'll fix you right up, so dry those tears.
Really?
Yup. The pain will disappear like magic. You'll see.
Wow! It doesn't hurt anymore. Thank you, sir. Grandma, look! My leg's all better now!
Well, I'll be. Thank you so much for healing my grandson.
You don't need to thank me. This is nothing.
Those robes. You wouldn't happen to be a student of the Archmage Grandante, would you?
You know my grandfather?
Oh, of course I do. What a great man he was, always using his magic to help those in need, much like you. I was just one of many whose lives he saved. Why, that was over 30 years ago. I lost my house to the fires of war and nearly my life along with it. But he quenched the flames with his spellcraft and healed my burns. Had it not been for the Archmage Grandante, I would not be here today. I am forever in his debt.
Even though Grandfather's name was erased from Hyzant's records, his memory lives on in the people he helped.
It sounds like he was a truly amazing man indeed. And I know he would be proud of you for following in his footsteps.
Do you really think so?
I do. And I have no doubt that one day you will restore the glory to your grandfather's name. No matter what the Ministry does to erase his existence, his spirit lives on through you.
Right. But I must keep practicing, that I might help even more people with my spells. Just watch me, Grandfather. I'll restore the honor of your name if it's the last thing I do.